Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cloud-Based Mayhem. Been a busy couple weeks since the release of the hang gliding episode. Lots and lots of feedback on that one. Seems like most people enjoyed it, but if you haven't caught that one yet, go back and listen. It's a fantastic history, super fun. That was really interesting to put together. And I apologize. Many people have pointed out that we missed some big legends along the way, which is, it was a 2-hour show. We had to decide what we were going to keep and what we would cut, and it's just hard to put everything together. But if anything, it meant we need to do more of those. There's so much knowledge there with the hang gliders, and they were doing it so much longer before paragliding was even around, and so I definitely need to interview a lot more hangies and try to capture that knowledge before it disappears potentially. So, but yeah, fun show. Hope you enjoyed that one. This show, I don't have any real housekeeping before we get into this one. Thank you all for contributing. That we had a huge surge in contributions with that last show with the hang gliding episode, which was really cool. I appreciate that. This show, I have been wanting to talk to Ziad Bassil for a long time. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. I apologize if I'm not, but Dust of the Universe. This is a blog that he maintains. He's been testing wings now for a very, very long time. He lives in Lebanon, obviously a pretty fascinating place. So I couldn't resist asking him some questions before we even got into it about Beirut and the Civil War and what's going on in Lebanon and the very unique challenges that they have to flying, but some cool places to fly. I've been watching the stuff that they've been doing for some time now, but I really wanted to ask him, and many of you have asked me to ask him how he goes about testing. And he's been a prolific tester of gear, harnesses, and wings for a very long time. And so we talk about how he does that and why, and what he's been able to accomplish, and of course some of the blowback he gets for putting out his opinions. He's because he does it on his own dime, he's able to be very honest about his own opinions. He's not beholden to any company and doesn't have to say what they want him to say. He says what he says. So quite a different path. It's an honest way to hear about a wing, rather than an ad in a magazine or something. So I've been very appreciative of his work for a very long time. We haven't always agreed, but I appreciate what he does very much, and I think you will as well. If you're not familiar with him, just Google Dust of the Universe and you'll find his Facebook page and his blog, and you'll see the prolific amount of testing he's done. It's really impressive. So I think you're going to enjoy this. If you're into gear, or you're thinking about gear, or you're just interested in flying, and especially flying in the Middle East, this is a cool show and a very cool character. So without further delay, please enjoy this cool conversation with Ziad Bassil. She sings a song and I listen to what it says. Ziad, welcome to the Cloud-Based Mayhem. This is pretty exciting for me. I've been following your write-ups about gear for I don't know how many years now, and we've of course had a ton of requests to have you on the show. So this is pretty exciting. I really appreciate your time. I thought a great place for us to start is just to share with everybody where you are and what the flying is like where you are. We discussed before we started recording there that you've got some pretty unique challenges flying in Lebanon.
Hi, Gavin. Thank you for putting me on your show, on the podcast. Yes, well, actually, if wanna speak about the challenges to fly in Lebanon, Lebanon is a small place to fly, but we have interesting sites. Two sites in the north. Three sites in the north, and one site in the middle of the country. It's practically flyable all year round, but not this year. This year were very tough for us, or very bad weather. The challenges of flying in Lebanon, because of the political situation, it's a bit difficult for us. We must phone the army before we fly, and we must call them again when we land.
And every flight?
Yeah. Yes, every flight. We have to, that's a pretty tough sometimes, especially when we want to go for a good day for XC, and it's difficult a bit. but it's flyable, and they let us fly every day if it's okay.
And are there like are there real risks to flying in terms of violence, guns, landmines, or the stuff we see on TV, or is that are you flying in areas that are that's not really a risk? It's more just dealing with the Army and letting them know.
Yeah, no, of course we fly in a really nice places. There are no risks in those places. There are restricted areas. We cannot fly. So it's practically 50 kilometers by 50 kilometers. That's it. That's the area we can fly almost in Lebanon. It's pretty small, but that's pretty secure, let's we say.
And tell me about the community you have there. How big is do you have like a club? How big is the club? How many people? And do you get together? Can you travel to nearby countries to fly? What's it like getting in and out?
Well, there's really few pilots in Lebanon. There are 3 clubs, but there are, if you gather all the pilots, maybe 50 pilots. That's
okay.
it, 50 pilots. And on the weekends, you can see maybe 15, 20 pilots maximum, but that's it. Mostly it's now focused on tandem flights, since people like to fly. Solo pilots are really, I mean, there's not really much. Yeah, there's not really much solo pilots flying in the air. Sometimes I'm flying maybe in the Cedar Range. It's a very nice place to fly, and almost alone in the sky. So, and during the week also sometimes I can fly alone, maybe 2 or 3 pilots in the air. That's it.
Tell me, give us a picture. I mean, I realize that's hard and it's not your native language, but give us a picture of what it's, so I've spent quite a bit of time in Morocco, a little bit in Tangier. What does it look like? Describe the flying. Is it big mountains? Is it small mountains? Are you flying? Is it urban? Is it rural? What is it? What's the flying like?
Maybe I should start by saying that we have the 3 small sites. There is one site in Junieh Bay. This site is around 730 meters above sea level, and you can land on the beach. And this is a small site, but have nice weather conditions. It's kind of protected from the wind, from the bad weather. This is a site in Junieh. The other site in the north part is called Mizyara. In front of Mizyara, we have Mizyara is a mountain with 830 meters of height. Then we have a flat land toward the sea, and it's not really far from Mizyara. It's 12 kilometers to the sea, but it's all flat. And this is a very nice site for comparison, for wing comparisons also, and for small XC flights. Very forgiving site, not really dangerous to fly there. And then these two sites are for the winter and summer. But the Cedar Range, we have the Cedar Range, and it's and this in the north part. The highest mountain is 3,900 meters. It's not really far also from the sea. So in a direct line, it's 40 kilometers. So the conditions there are really nice, really, really nice. So maybe in the morning, we have the other side of this mountain. This mountain faces west and east. And on the east, we have the Bekaa Valley. It's not really, it's restricted area. We cannot fly there. But we have a very flat land, and it's really powerful thermals. So if you take off at 10 o'clock, probably you get a 6 meters per second, easy. Wow. And at 12, it's, if you can handle the glider, I think sometimes in August, get above 6,000 meters. but of course it's not really fun to fly because it's a strong thermal breeze. But anyway, if you get to 4,000 meters and just turn and just turn, you have a 40 glide to the sea. So it's a very, very easy spot to go XC.
Did you say 4,000 meters?
4,000 meters is just very easy to take. I mean, yeah, because it's very easy to. The thermals are really strong.
Wow. And are you in Beirut?
No, I'm staying in Jbeil. Jbeil is Byblos. Byblos, it's in the north part. So I'm between all the sites.
Okay.
Maybe so an hour drive, I can be in the Cedars. 15 minutes, I can be in Jounieh. 45 minutes, I can be in Meziara. So I'm between the three sites.
And most of the pilots there that fly in the club, maybe the non-tandem pilots, are they mostly from Lebanon or are they mostly expats?
No, mostly from Lebanon.
Okay.
They're mostly
Great.
from Lebanon, yes. Yeah.
Wow. And you have a school there or a couple schools?
Yes, there are two schools there, but mostly they are focused now on tandem flying. They are, of course, teaching some pilots, but there's no really big interest now in learning paragliding. But we're trying to introduce this sport more and more. But anyway, they are making tandems very often. Every day, each pilot are making 10, 12 tandems. I don't know. They are really working well.
So this is going to sound like a completely just a stupid question, but with everything going on, literally right across your border in Damascus, is that how much does that impact you? How much does it impact Lebanon as a country? I mean, is there any hope of ever dialing up to 4,000 and going east?
Well, that's really difficult to say. I've never tried it because I can be I can be shot.
Yeah, of course.
quite easily. Going to the Bekaa Valley at 4,000, it's easy to go XC, but I can go on my right to the south. So I can go to the south because the range of mountains. It separates Lebanon and horizontally. So you can go to the south and go back. But the problem is the airline.
And is that the same? Is that the same case with going, kind of southwest into Israel, or is that even is that a possibility?
Yes, yes, but we cannot go there. Of course. That's why I told you only 50 kilometers maximum. By 50 kilometers, this is the area we can have some little fun.
So you've got that window, and that's it. How long has it been like that?
Well, it has been like that since I began.
Really?
Since I began, we had Syrian army before in the north part at that time, and it was really challenging to fly over them and not being shot. So multiple times I have landed far away, maybe when there was Syrian army in the Kura Flats, and I was surrounded by military army with gun pointing at me. So for me, this was a hell of an adventure.
Wow.
And not to mention being arrested many times and waiting endless moments to get released. Yeah, because wow. It was very difficult in the past.
Well, I'm encouraged by your passion and enthusiasm when it's kind of an isolated place where you can't really explore too much. It's neat that you've stayed so passionate about the sport. But
so I mean, the problem to get one glider into a custom and receiving it, you don't know really the mess we got into. Only one glider. Each glider comes, the customs put it into control, and we have to move 2 or 3 times to Beirut. It's 35 to 40 kilometers from my place 2 or 3 times because of the control of the glider. The glider stays in the customs office. A guy from the military comes and check it. Then it will be cleared. So each glider takes about 20 to 25 days sometimes to get cleared. So imagine I received maybe 1 or 2 gliders per week, and all the stress to to get it out. That's also, it's a challenge for us. But anyway, that's how we do it.
And we both have a mutual friend. I haven't seen him in years, but Ronnie, who's an American surfer and Maui and stuff. I'm not sure if he's still there or not. Is he still there?
Yes.
He is.
Yes. I'm seeing Ronnie many times. Yeah.
And so is it different for him, or can he fly the same stuff that you guys do?
He knows the limits. He doesn't really. Yeah. In this part of the country, it's really safe to fly.
Okay.
If it's American, if it's any pilot, any foreign pilot can fly really safely here. It's not that dangerous to fly because there is order here, peace and order, like we say. But this part, but we don't really go far. That point. Lebanon is a small country, but in this part, it's really, really safe. I mean, I was arrested by my own people, by my own army, because
they want you to be safe. Yeah.
Yeah, because where are you going? Or why did you land here? So that's it. So
they're looking after you.
Well, maybe when you fly and you like to fly and the condition is really good, you have to push the envelope. You have to go and to make a long distance flying. Okay. And maybe 20 years ago, there was not really, the political situation was really bad before. I mean, and there is no government. There was Syrian army here, and it was militias, and we were flying. I mean, going like sea to remote places.
Are you talking about during the Civil War?
Maybe in from 94, 93 to now. Right. I mean, now it's okay. Now we have a government, we have an army, Lebanese army. There is no problem here now. It's very safe, and lots of foreign pilots are coming. We had last week Danish team.
Really? Really? Cool.
That came, yeah.
Wow,
often
cool.
We have foreign pilots coming here. Mm-hmm.
Now, another place that I haven't been, but I've been fascinated for a long time. There's Jordan is not far from you, and that seems like this kind of bastion of security in a very insecure part of the world these days. Do you go to Jordan? Do you fly in Jordan?
No, I did not. I didn't. Okay. Not yet. But I heard that also. It's a bit restricted to fly. My friend work in Jordan, and he said that it's a bit difficult also. There are places that you have to slip to fly, like, to fly and to run away.
Oh, really?
Fly and run. Hike, fly and run.
Good training for the X-Alps. Maybe I should go there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I had to ask you some of the, just to get a sense of the place. I appreciate that. It's fascinating part of the world, and it's sure not without its dangers, but it sounds also pretty exciting. I'd like to get out there and fly. You've inspired me to come visit. It sounds neat. So a little bit more on your history, and then I wanted to get into gear. How long have you been flying, and tell us about the transition to do these gear reviews. How did that all happen?
Okay, so I'm flying. I began in the early 90s with a few friends. We were pioneers in that sport. There was a group of French tourists flying over here at that time, over Jounier Bay, and I was hooked up. One Frenchman stayed a week later and taught me how to fly. Wow. Later on, I began to kite my glider practically alone every day, because this is the kind of magic carpet for me. Mm-hmm. So flying I was flying practically alone in some remote areas without no instrument, no weather report. I had little knowledge of the weather change, anything. So for me, it was a great adventure. In the very early days, I would sleep in the cedar range and would fly almost every day. It was, it was a dream with nature elements. And weekends was joined with a couple of cool friends. I still remember my really best friends. Now they are not flying. Roland, Matthew, remember, Thomas. And it was great to share the flight with them. It was really, it's like you're alone, and you're discovering everything about paragliding. The French guy taught me for 3 days and sent me a glider, and he sent me the glider of Uli Weissmeyer, the glider that Uli Weissmeyer set the world record on.
Wow.
So for me, it was really dangerous and was really scared. I was pretty scared to fly that glider in the cedars. But I've learned too much since then, and and that's it.
And how did you start doing the gear reviews? And I think a lot of people would like to know how that works with the companies, and are they loaners? Are they? Do you have to buy them? Do they give them to you? How does that all work?
Well, actually, I began the first. Okay, I must tell you why I do those testing. I mean,
sure.
For my first early days, I had this, I don't know how to say it. It's like a feel to fly other gliders. It's like I always say that birds cannot exchange wings, but we can. That's it. This is, so they fly and they fly much better than us for a million years, but they cannot exchange wings. So we can exchange them, and we can feel the difference when you exchange them. I mean, if you fly an ENA glider and then you fly a CCC glider, the difference is huge. And I was really happy to exchange the wings from the early stages. So I mean, if your friend comes in a wing, I would ask if I can fly these wings. And afterward, everyone lent me his wing. So that's how it began. And afterward, I would sometimes borrow, in the early days, I mean, the gliders from my friends. And then I was contacted by some manufacturers. I wrote the tests on the net, and nobody got them seriously. I mean, they said that who gonna listen to them? Who gonna read them? I mean, I'm happy. I'm just writing from my heart. Everything I know. That's it. I'm doing my best. And then I contacted some companies, and I bought the gliders. And 15 years ago, I mean, they lent me the glider. But it wasn't good for me, because if a company lend you the glider, sometimes
then
they
you
will
can't be
ask,
objective. Yeah.
But I'm always saying what I want to say. I'm always objective. But the problem is that when he lent you the glider, and he said, "Okay, please just tell me before you ride what you are going to ride," and that was frustrating to me. So I stopped that, and afterward, I made the budget. I put a budget, and then I purchased some gliders. I began to purchase the gliders. And that's where I can take full time and then fly the glider and then sell the glider. That's it.
And so that works out. What's the economic model for you then? Is it you're able to buy the glider at maybe cost and then sell it and make enough, or is it basically just a pass through and you're funding all this through your other work?
I put a budget of maybe $10,000, or a small budget, and I said, this budget, I'm going to use it for buying stuff. And then because of Lebanon, there is no dealers in Lebanon. Yes, there is a dealer, but all friends. I mean, there is an ozone dealer, there is a gin dealer, but dealer with 50 pilots, not really interesting. I mean, they gave me the glider. I pay the glider at nearly the cost of the glider. And when there is no dealer, I can get the glider directly from the manufacturer at the dealer price. Sometimes when the glider is finished and maybe it's somebody is interested here, he can sell it here. Otherwise, I can sell it worldwide. It's only one glider, one size, one tested. I don't get to work on this stuff. So I only purchase one glider, one size, or maybe two size, M, L, M, and SM, because I'm thin. So the smaller size, and the medium size. And then I sell them afterward.
Okay. And is this your main job?
No, it's not my main job.
Okay. What do you do for quote unquote real work? This is obviously fun work, which we're all trying to figure out how to do. But
I had special occasion during the war in '75. We get out from Beirut. My father, we get go into Byblos, Jbel, and I was 11 years old. I was still at school, and we finished. My father did his job here in Jbel. We made a big supermarket, and when I finished my school, I worked with my father, and in 2004, I took the job, the supermarket, enhanced it, and now I have a big company, and that's my main job.
Okay. So you're very busy with that. Yes. How much time would you say you can dedicate to the testing and writing? And we'll have all this in the show notes. But those of you who are listening, if you don't know it already, you probably do. But on Facebook, it's Dust of the Universe. And if you just Google search Dust of the Universe, you'll find Ziad's blog, which is terrific. And it's easier to Google it that way than the address. But it's you'll see what we're talking about with all the reviews and the different wings and everything. But how much time are you able to dedicate, or would you say you dedicate to doing the testing maybe each month?
Well, Gavin, as I said, my home place is really between all the sites, and if it's flyable and everything is on the right way, my company is really I have lots of people working, and I can manage to go and fly. So every day, if it's flyable, I can go fly. I go back to work. Yeah, I can go back to work very easily. So it's not really like France, maybe, or Europe, because the sites are really far away and you have to travel. So maybe 15 minutes I can go at the near site. It's very easy to reach. So I mean, I'm available when it's flyable.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you cover? All manufacturers, or are you trying to isolate just with a few? Or tell us about how do you approach the testing? And I know it's harnesses, wings, it's everything, correct?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like to test fly anything, all the gliders, all the harnesses, if I can, from every manufacturer. But sometimes it's difficult to reach all the manufacturers. Sometimes it's difficult to purchase them.
Right. Sure.
Some manufacturers don't let you get their wings. I mean, they know that I can write whenever I want. So some companies are not happy. That's it's a big business, and uh, if everyone does know how the business work, and they know that they are keeping their business, properly maintained. I mean, if there is a problem with any glider, I will write it.
Because, you're reviewing these things and you're very honest, and sometimes they aren't glowing reports. Do you receive much blowback from the community? Do you have to get into I don't know, little pissing matches?
Look, no, I write just exactly as I feel. Exactly, I feel every word. I mean, but always being polite, because I know I have a company and I understand the load and the pressure.
Sure.
The company has the payments that they have to expand. I know, so. But I write everything right. Anyway, the people who get pissed off, I mean, this is the companies, the owners of the companies, and everyone. Of course, maybe some tell me that losing lots of money, and you wrote that it's not really nice to wrote this. The glider is really nice. I mean, I say, yeah, well, the glider is really nice, but I mean, it's shown on the video. It's clear. It's maybe it's a D glider, and this C glider is performing much better. I mean, it's obvious. What do you want me to write? This is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You should not release the wing. Should not release the wing before you make your own testing. If it's nowadays, I cannot. I'm saying that okay. So the performance are really close. I say that I write that the performance are really close. I mean, that's it. They're really close. If they are close, but if they are not close, well, I will write it as it is. I will write it but I will write it politely. I'm not the guy who just want to wreck all the companies. No, I'm just writing what
your opinion.
I felt. That's it.
Yeah, sure. The so what manufacturers do you mostly review?
Well, everyone. Every manufacturer. If I can purchase a wing, I can purchase it, and I review the wing.
Okay, so there's
the B class and the C class and then the D class.
Okay.
Not in the C, because mainly competition gliders doesn't need the reviews. They fly by their own and they test, but maybe B and C and D gliders.
Sure. Okay. So what companies right now, and again, listeners, this is Ziad's opinion, and so we're all allowed to have them. So, obviously you've probably got favorites and unfavorites, but, without, maybe angering too many companies here. Which manufacturers? Because there's some new players on the block. We just did a podcast with Philippe Resende with Flow. There's the Korean, the new Korean company. There's Fee, which is kind of exciting. Man, they're really just concentrating on the A gliders right now. But long history there with Hannes. But what manufacturers right now do you feel like are really kind of pushing the envelope? Are you kind of most excited about? Maybe you can predict in the future they're going to have who in your mind is
Well, that's a tough question here. I mean, I felt that over the years there was always some glider that will mark the paragliding world by their efficiencies in the air. Every maybe 4 to 5 years, 6 years, I don't know. I felt there would be a new discovery from a certain company that lead to a better performance improvement. And then other companies do some effort to reach that development. I think today eliminating the drag is the most challenging part in moving forward toward better performance, because all the companies are really professional and they have a big R&D and the top leading brands, as you know them. So yeah, the bar is already very high in every category in the B, C, and D. And as I said, the 10 top leading brands are trying hard to move forward, or at least to deliver up-to-date gliders, because maybe in the C category today, the performance is nearly the same. And the high B also, it's very close. And that's it. So if the easiness of flight also, so there is really not, I cannot mention one company, but there's really top companies here that are doing really nice job.
Yeah. So I'm going to put you on the spot here. You don't have to answer this, but if you'd like to, go for it. Well, first of all, when you're just flying for your own personal fun, are you flying a CCC or a B, or what are you flying for when you're trying to go out and do a challenging XC flight?
You see, my philosophy in flying is pleasure in flight. That's why I like the gliders that. I've been swapping gliders like crazy. It's difficult for me to have only one glider, but of course not CCC, because I'm not competing. I would not use that glider, and it's difficult anyway, and to use it in some very turbulent air. So I'm taking a risk, and this risk is
it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, today's gliders are, if I want to fly in the past now, 10 years ago, I wouldn't dream of flying maybe a C glider or a B glider in this. The performance of those gliders today weren't available in competition gliders 10 years ago. So I mean, I fly maybe a C or a D glider if I want to. That's it. I don't have one specific glider.
Okay, great. I mean, I think that helps us just understand, what you like to fly. So, let's run through. And again, everybody understands this is just your opinion, but but you must have a favorite in each. Like, what's your favorite B? Yes. What's your favorite C? What's your favorite D right now, currently?
Yeah. Of course. It's very easy answer. I mean, I'm a person who favors the pleasure of flight. I mean, the handling of a glider. If the glider handles pretty well, I'm sensitive to that. So, I mean, it's personal. I mean, if I fly a glider and this glider gives me exact feeling of agility inside the thermal and cuts through and climb, and I like that glider. I favor this glider. So, I mean, in the B category now today, I mean, the Chile 4 is really nice to fly.
Skywalk.
Skywalk has the Chile 4. It's really nice to fly among the B+. I can state dozens of gliders. I mean,
really?
Because in the B category, I've made the comparison, the B comparison, and the handling is what I really looking forward. I mean, the Rush 5 now, it's not handles swiftly like the Chile 4, but it has really nice performance and very easy to fly also. So this is interesting to make a B plus glider that is really comfortable to fly, and then also very high performance, and also on the C and in the D category.
Yeah, I almost feel like we need to. I should have expanded on my question, because the B category, I haven't flown a B in many years, so I don't have experience with it. But the B category is massive now, isn't it? I mean, we didn't used to say a hot B or a low B. We used to just say B, but now it's like, there's a middle B, there's a low B, there's a high B. I mean, the high Bs, everybody says, oh, well, it should be a C.
Yes.
So maybe I should even say, what's your favorite low B, high B? And then I think we have to do the same thing for the C's now, don't we?
Well, Gavin, the B category is really big, huge. I mean,
huge.
And the manufacturers, because of the pilots, this is the most purchased wings of all the categories.
Sure.
And this category, I mean, it changes a lot. I mean, low B category sometimes low B category is not really a low B category. I
Okay.
mean, some manufacturers has a low B and a high B, but many B sometimes when I fly a low B, I sense that, wow, it's a dynamic wing. And it shouldn't be, but it's the race for performance, and race for performance is a race for performance. So when you make challenges with a low B, and you're marketing a low B glider, I expect to have a low B glider that is a bit spicy.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean, companies maybe should should be marketing a high B glider. Okay, we understand. So it's a B, but it's marketing for XCUs, and the other one, it's for beginner plus. That's it. But today it's really messy. I mean, you have all of them are in the B category. All of them pass the certification, but not really all of them are similar. I mean, in the low B category, as the HV stated, there are maybe 1, 2, 3 classes. And they in the low B category, they put 3, 4 classes. I don't know, maybe in the high B also. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think about like a Carrera versus what would be a good
Yeah, the Carrera. The Carrera is not a B. Jin at the time put it a B, but it's not really a B.
Right. I think that's where people need to be careful, don't they? Because it's if you've just come out of the school and you're a P1 and you're looking for your first glider and you go, oh, I'll get a B, and you get a Carrera, you've just purchased a pretty hot ship.
Of course, for them, yeah.
Yeah,
for them, yeah. But I mean, also if you got a wing that's really tuned to pass the certification, I don't think you will get most of the performance with it. I mean, the Carrera, the original Carrera was really nice to fly. It was dynamic to fly, and forget the B. But I mean, later on, the Carrera Plus was smooth to fly, more pitch back, and it wasn't a B, of course, but it did not have the performance feel. I mean, lots of pilots today are going to ask about the B category. I mean, today, if you have a B category and you're flying for fun, that's the category you have to aim. But if you want more challenging sensations of flights, I think B glider can be boring, of course, but not for all the pilots. I mean, for weekend pilots, for a pilot flying maybe 50 hours per year, I mean, the B category, the B plus category, is more than enough. I mean, if I fly the B category, I can practically fly with any glider, with any good C or D glider. If there is a good pilot flying a B plus glider, we miss anything about performance. It will be fly very competitively. I mean, okay, not for competition, but maybe for XC, for pleasure, for going on his own challenging.
Yeah. I mean, I think Nova proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt with the Mentor. When they put those great pilots on. I mean, I think people often miss that these were very, very good pilots flying that wing. These were comp pilots in many cases, but they were doing these massive triangles in the Alps on a Mentor proved to everybody that you don't necessarily need to take a lot of risk with your glider choice. You can get on a Mentor and have a really good day.
And look, yeah, Gavin, it's really this question of Mentor. The best Mentor was created. It was the Mentor 2. I had one in S size, and flying that glider was spicy, yes, a bit, but really competitive among the current gliders at the time. It was competitive. Of course, it wasn't a glider for any beginner going into the sport, but it was like it was that glider that you feel that it is, at the time, it was pitching inside the thermal. It's slipping through the thermal. You can feel everything. It's like a competition glider. And it was digging through the stuff, surfing, getting in. So I was really impressed by that glider. And then the Mentor series, the 3 was more mellow. The 4 was I don't know, a bit very well performance, but anyway, it changes a bit. And the 5 combine all of them. Still, but very mellow. Not all of them are not like the Mentor 2 in the
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and the feel, and then all the other competitors caught up with them. So now you have really 5 or 6 B plus company gliders, which are really competitive.
Okay, how about C's?
About C's, what do you want to know?
Just your favorite right now. Your own. If you had 15 of them sitting there from 15 different companies, which would you grab to go? Which are you most excited about?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, my favorite one was 5 years ago was a Delta 2, and then Delta 2 in size MS, because also it's very important to stay the size. When I make a test, some people disagree because they do not fly the glider. The same size of the glider I tested at the same load. There's 2 different criteria. It's very difficult. I mean, yeah, it differs a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
So Delta 2 MS, it was really nice glider. And then Skywalk make the Cayenne 5. It's very impressive glider. And now when I flew the Delta 3, it was okay. Not really the fun handling, the precise handling of the Delta 2, which was nice performance, into-wind performance and real air. But I liked more the Alpina 3. So this one, Alpina 3 now I have. And I tested the Niviuk Arctic 5, which is really impressive. It got the edge a bit over the Alpina in some ways. And also the new Gin Bonanza 2. So
yeah,
I mean,
I've heard good things about this one.
It's really nice. The Bonanza 2 also. All the 3 have very close performance. I mean, I have the 3 of them in my truck now, and each day I'm going to fly them. I pick one. I just go and fly. I land. I take another one, and practically the same. The same pleasures. I feel happy with them. Yeah.
We're working right now on in fact, it'll be released today, and that's not going to be that won't make any sense to the listeners because this won't be out, but it'll be the day you and I are talking about a big hang gliding episode. And we had Dustin Martin. We're actually, there's a bunch of different people that are in that episode. And Dustin Martin, who has the current world record in hang gliding for distance, has gotten into paragliding in the last few years, and he's flying the Arctic 5. And he was talking about the launch characteristics are just unreal. He says that you can just launch it from anywhere in almost any kind of conditions. He said it's really, really nice. It made me want to fly the glider. I spent, maybe as you know, I spent quite a bit of time on the Arctic back in the old day, the Arctic 2, the Arctic 1. But I haven't flown any of the more recent Niviuks in that range. But I've heard good things about the Arctic. That's great.
Yes, I mean, I like this glider. I like very much this glider. This is a good glider. It's comfortable to fly also. Niviuk changed a bit from the early versions. It was a bit more aggressive. Changed a bit of the lines. It's a bit trimmed less, but still very well sorted out. Very nice glider.
Okay. How about D's?
Well, these I liked very much the M6. I had the M6, and then I got the LM6, the light version of the M6, which is an improvement a bit in the turbulent conditions. It was a really nice glider. This impressive D glider. I don't think till now there is a competitive D glider into the market. Maybe a few, but not really getting better than this one. And the Zeno. The Zeno is, of course, my best glider. It's the best glider to fly. It's a very soft in reaction, very competitive. It has everything. This is the most efficient glider in ABC, of course, and the D gliders, the D category.
Yeah. Is anybody else? The Xeno's just taken the world by storm, isn't it? Hasn't it? It really isn't. I have to give it to them. It's an amazing glider. Is anybody else threatening in that space right now, in your opinion?
I mean, I flew some of the two-liners, the new generation two-liners. I mean, yes, of course, they are really close. I mean, it's really close. Some of them are a bit faster than the Xeno, and this forward speed sometimes helps maybe in getting more if you don't push the bar often. But they are very close. Not really. I mean, I prefer still the Xeno for the time.
Tell us how you approach testing. How you get a new glider. Take me through what you do with it. How do you assimilate opinions in different air, different conditions? You document your process quite well on your website, but I just, if you could run us through a summary of how you do it, that would be useful.
Yeah, yes, of course. It's very easy. For me here, flying in the same area for a very long time, in the same spot, in the place I know for 30 years, top landing, swapping gears on the same day, very often. I mean, 30 minutes flying, 1 hour flying, come top land, get another wing. Let me understand better the abilities of a certain glider. That's the feeling of the wing, in the same condition, of course, of the day. And then I will fly next to a friend of mine with a reference glider. Reference glider, I mean, in the B category, I keep always a reference glider on a certain size.
Okay.
Maybe, okay. And in the C category also, and I keep on the D a reference glider. Maybe on the D, I'm keeping the Xeno. On the C, I'm keeping, I don't know, I have 3 gliders now. I don't know what to keep. I mean, if I keep the Alpina or the Bonanza or the Gin, it's the same. I will keep one. So in the B category, I have the Rush 5. And I fly next to a friend with same load. So we put ballast to be on the same load. And I try to be on the same size, of course. I try to be, not always possible, but I'll try. And the sizes are not really from the S to the large. No, it's S, MS, that's it. Or the same size, or only one size above. And then I fly always in a moving air. I don't make comparison.
You're not doing slider flights. Okay.
No. We don't fly. Not any of us fly in calm air. So in calm air, and numbers on papers are really silly. It's if any pilots just get this GPS and go on the calmest of air and makes a glide, he understands that he cannot put any number, because he will always get minus 0.1, 0.2 difference, and that glide will differ from a 9 to a 9.5 to a 8.8. So
agreed. It's just a useless exercise. Yeah,
so that's
totally
useless.
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. So I evaluate by my feel. I look. We see how the glider ability can show what glider has the ability to serve the air better, and the glider what glider move forward and gets a bit higher. Of course, it's a moving air, but we don't make only one glide. So 1, 2, or 3 glide are not enough to determine which glider is more efficient. Many attempts are needed to evaluate their potential.
And what about, how are you judging safety characteristics? Are you putting every glider you fly through some kind of a similar SIV? Are you stalling? Are you doing asymmetric? Are you doing kind of SIV stuff, or is it mostly just fun flying, thermal flying, XC flying?
Well, no, I don't put it to SIV, so I don't stall the gliders. I don't spin them. I find the limit of the stall. So I know when it will stall, I release. I don't make a full stall.
Okay.
And I make a frontals, but frontals and asymmetric also I make. But all of those cannot really, if the pilots now do know that, but that doesn't really represent the glider in moving air when they collapse. Because when I collapse the glider, my head are thinking that I'm collapsing the glider and I'm ready. And my muscles, my bottom muscles are ready to counter steer if I'm not thinking properly. So I'm ready for the collapse. But collapses in real life are really much more different. And
Sure.
I got some collapses when I fly in turbulent air, some high-rated gliders, and I was really, surprised by the dynamics of those gliders that were tested before in calm air over the sea. So asymmetrics and frontals, induced asymmetric frontals doesn't show the real glider in the air. A bit of a small picture, I think.
Okay.
And in moving air, when you get a collapse, maybe the wing is in front of you, maybe it's a bit on the sides, so it's all different.
I'm going to run a scenario by you. Let's say tomorrow you and I get an invitation, not tomorrow because it's the wrong time of year. Okay, let's say it's July and you and I get an invitation to go fly, some really cool part of the Alps together. So you got to root yourself up from Lebanon, get on a plane. You can't take 10 gliders. You got to take one and one harness. And you and I are going to go fly, some really cool line across the Alps for a few days. What would you take? Harness, wing, maybe even instruments, and why?
Well, if I'm gonna go to fly with you in the Alps, I'm gonna take an Enzo 4.
Oh, no, we're not.
It's just to catch up with you.
No. We're flying for fun. We're going to go fly in the Dolomites, and it's just we're not trying to break any records. We're gaggle flying. We're just having fun together.
I can take any of the available gliders I have here. Maybe I get a sea glider, I think.
Yeah. Okay, but which one and which harness? Like you must have a favorite for just going to have a fun trip in a part of the world where we don't have to worry too much about hiking. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be lightweight kit. It's just for a fun flying vacation.
Well, I can get maybe which harness? I mean, there's lots of harnesses. I have 5 harnesses here for testing, but I will get maybe the, I don't know if I have light harnesses. Maybe I get my own harness. I mean, I have the X-rated 6. I like this glider this harness very much, and it's practically my own harness for everyday test flying.
Okay.
But if I want to get a light one, I will get the I have the Woody Valley GTO, the new one, the light. I mean, it's nice.
It's a nice looking harness.
It doesn't have a seat board also, but it's okay.
And wing?
And wing, I will get maybe the Livyuk.
Excellent. Good answer.
Dominique will like it.
Yeah, he would like it a lot. He'd like it a lot. Perfect. Okay. Let's switch to harnesses. Seatboard or no seatboard, and why?
Okay, so the hammock style harnesses are really very comfortable. I mean, for the sitting position, for the back comfort, the Lightness 2, the Forza, the Empress 3, the Woody Valley GTO Light, but they do not provide the precision of a weight shift in turbulent air. I mean, the seat harness will let you lean on a stiff corner and lock yourself into a precise turn. You know that kind of angle, and that's what I personally prefer. The seat harness for the moment. That's it's a personal. But I fly for fun with a seatless, and I like them very much. But maybe for a high aspect ratio glider and a competition glider, I surely will prefer a seat harness.
There's some interesting work being done. I'm seeing like in the new Delight 3, I guess it is, in the new SUP air harness. They're using quite stiff.
Back protection.
Yeah, exactly. Quite stiff underneath your butt. So it's almost like having a seat board, but I don't have personal experience with that. Are you noticing that
Yes, of course.
Is it helping?
Well, look, the Forza doesn't have a seat board, but it's very easy to just open the zip and slide a carbon seat plate just over the protection. And when you sit with the protection, with the seat board, it gets a bit like you have a seat board, but it's not connected to the seat belt, to the belts. So it's not connected to the belts. You feel it, but it's not as connected as a seat harness. The seat harness, the seat board is under the belt.
Yeah.
So you get all the precise turn. But it's okay. It's much better.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through my own interesting phase with harnesses because, of course, in the X Alps, you fly the lightest stuff you possibly can. In 2015, I flew the Ice Peak 7. The regular one, I wasn't even a light version, and then I flew with the Strike, and I'd flown the Impress for quite a while, even in my early years of racing, and so I'm quite comfortable with the hammock harness, but I really feel like I've maybe made a mistake there. I think in this next X Alps, I think I'm willing to carry that, very small additional weight of a carbon seat board and go with a seat board. Because I agree with you. I think when you're flying a higher aspect wing, you really need that extra feel.
Yeah, because maybe, of course, that anyone could fly. Maybe not anyone. Athletes like yourself can fly easy on a hammock harness and the competition wing, but you have to pay the extra workout, and maybe if in a competition like the XL, maybe you will be happy not to pay those extra charges in the air. So if you can minimize the load, it will be much better. The load, the workload.
It's exactly. Better. Yeah,
so
exactly.
if this if the harness compensate the roll movement of the harness, and it will have much less workout, you can maybe have more energy for another kilometers. I don't know.
Ziad, I want to be mindful of your time, so we'll wrap things up here. This has been enormously educational and fun. I really appreciate it. Before we do, I know you listen to the podcast sometimes. You've heard this question before, so maybe you're prepared for it. But if you could rewind the clock, and for you, it's a long rewind, it's 30 years, back to if you can kind of imagine where you were and what you were doing when you were a 50-hour pilot. It sounds like it was shortly after your French friend taught you how to ground handle and do a little bit of flying, then handed off a comp glider to you. What would you do differently, or what advice would you have for the audience who are just starting out? Like when you look back at your own progression, would there be anything you would change?
No, really no. Because the best thing I remember is that I'm flying for fun. From the first day I learned paragliding, and the feeling of weightless feel on the ground and soaring sometimes, this is the feel I want to get, and this is the feel I want to stay with me. So if anyone wants to fly beside competition, they have to fly for the pleasure, having fun, and that's maybe, I don't know, that's my goal, and I hope it will still be available.
So just fly for the fun. I like that. That works.
But yeah, I mean, if you can fly, because I mean, in my country, I cannot really go to very long XCs, and those circuits I make, and that's what I can do. So I mean, if I want to stay here, I want to fly, I want to change wings, and yeah, that's it. The feel that I get from the wings, I hope to get the most of the pleasure feel when flying them.
Love it. Ziad, thank you very much. That was a real pleasure. I've been smiling constantly for an hour. It's a real treat to speak to you, quote unquote. Well, not really in person here, but it's nice to hear your voice. I feel like you and I know each other for many years of reading all your material, which is fantastic. We'll add all that to the show notes. I want to encourage people to again go check out Dust of the Universe and read Ziad's reviews and. Good luck there, and I do hope we get a chance someday to fly in the Alps or somewhere else in the world and yeehaw at Cloud Base.
Yeah, well, thank you, Gavin. Thank you for having me on this podcast. Really sorry for my English, but yes, of course, it will be a great pleasure for me to fly with you wherever, and if you come over here also. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoyed that. As always, if you're getting something out of the show, all we ask for is $1 a show if you can afford it. And you can do that as a one-time donation. And don't just send us $1. That's kind of silly because PayPal takes a big chunk of it. You know, wait till you've listened to 20 or something and make sure you really dig it. You can do that. If you go to the website, cloudbasemayhem.com, you can see how to contribute to the show financially through PayPal, or you can set it and forget it through Patreon, which is a really cool way to, just contribute every time we put content out. So you only pay when we create content, and then you can be rewarded for doing so at various different levels. So that's kind of fun. But there are many other ways you can support the show. You can share it, you can blog about it, you can post it on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or however you like to communicate. You can talk about it with your friends on the way up to launch. What this is all about is just spreading knowledge, spreading information, and trying to make us all better pilots and safer pilots. So you can also rate us on iTunes or Stitcher or however you get your podcast. That actually goes a long way. I've learned a lot about that in the last couple of months. So we've got tons of great ratings already. It's fantastic. I really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next show. Cheers.